Welcome to another edition of the Metal Voice, and here we are today, Jim.
Yes.
To review
Aha.
a brand new release of Fallen by one of our favorite bands, Stryper.
Feeling kind of heavily today, Alan.
It's a angelic kind of mood here in the studio.
I don't know, my wings feel good.
Angels with white wings.
Say farewell to the future. Get ready for the ride. We're going down to hell tonight, so strap yourself inside. There's a glaring contradiction in your world that's made of glass. Something small can shatter it and nail you to the past. The road beneath your wheels, the madness that you feel. Oh, you will pay with your life.
Okay, Jim. So let's get right into it.
Let's get right
here.
into it, Alan.
Fallen.
Fallen.
Okay, so what do you think? What do you want to do? Track by track? We'll do track by track. What do you got happening here?
Overall, I'll give you an overall. It's a round table today, Alan.
Okay.
It's me, you, and Giles. Round table.
Okay.
Let's talk about this. All right. Fallen. So, what did you think about Fallen right off the bat? I gave
Very strong album. Very strong album. One of the strongest I think Stryper's ever released. And what I love about it, Jim, it's certain. It's got the classic Stryper sound, but much more modern. And they went outside their wheelhouse here. Let's face it. I was reading, honestly, Michael Stryper's autobiography, and he always said as much as he loved the guitars in Judas Priest and Iron Maiden, he also loved the vocal harmonies of Styx and Journey. And I think this album would lead more towards the Iron Maiden, Judas Priest double guitar, dual guitar, because you've got the grinding guitars on a lot of the songs. You've got the drums that are right there. And of course, the soaring high vocals.
Oh yeah, big.
But the melodic vocals that we expect in the big choruses, very power metal.
Yes.
They're more than melodic, like Stryper is so well known for. So I think they've really modernized their sound, but keeping true to the Stryper spirit.
Like last album was a dark album, more of a dark album. This album, they're returning back to classic heavy metal.
I mean, let's look into Yahweh, the first release.
Incredible,
right?
incredible.
If I had to say Stryper ever came up with an epic song, this would be the one.
Exactly.
Okay. Then After Forever, a cover off of one of my favorite songs off of Masters of Reality, Black Sabbath cover.
Incredible.
I'm listening to it. It's like, hey, yeah. What took them so long to cover this? I mean, Stryper does a fantastic job. This song was made for Stryper. And then you've got All Over Again, which I think was I don't know, I'll throw it out there, maybe a leftover track from Michael's Not Your Suicide.
Yes, exactly.
For me, that's the Odd Duck. A great song. I enjoyed it. It's like a mid-paced ballad kind of thing. But I think it might be a leftover track from his solo album because it doesn't really fit onto the overall, for myself, doesn't really fit onto the overall scheme of the rest of the album.
I liked it because, yeah, you're right. It does sound like something off his solo album. I wouldn't call it leftover. I would just say a track that he didn't put on, right? Because it's a strong track, right? We don't want to call it a leftover.
It's a song. It's just the odd duck of the set.
Exactly. And it's slide guitar. It's a slow song. And what I like about it, it's not like every album they have the power ballad. This is not a power ballad. It's just a great tune, right? A slow track.
And then you got Big Screen Lies, which I think was their latest, if you could check out their websites, their latest release on there.
Yeah.
There's nothing that Stryper's ever done that's like this song. I've tried to, I listen to a song, okay, this one's a bit like from this era. This is completely new to territory for them. That's my feeling. I mean, I can't relate it to anything. Fallen, the title track.
Another knockout. Home run.
There you go. You got the classic Oz and Michael guitars. Right there, you can hear the Judas Priest influence. That dual guitar. I mean, much more prevalent. It's a gritty song. On the vocals during the chorus, Michael lets it all out there. There's no, again, very strong vocals throughout the album. But he's not shy to let it out and really let loose on this album either.
My favorite track, King of Kings.
Yeah.
And Let There Be Light. Wow. I mean, Alan, you put on this album, every track is superb. It's excellent. I would say that this is probably, and we say this a lot, right, over the years. This is probably one of the best Stryper albums out there. And comparing this, a lot of people are going to say, well, Soldiers Under Command is the best album. Look, it's like comparing Moving Pictures Rush with 2112 Rush. Two great albums, but two different, I wouldn't say genres of music, but just two different styles. Stryper has evolved over the years. They have changed incrementally. They're not the same band they were in the 80s. And Soldiers Under Command is an incredible. We don't want them to be.
We want them to be.
That's right. Would we want another Soldiers? No. We want something different yet strong. And this is what this album is. Probably one of the best albums in their career.
And I agree with you, Jimmy. I mean, you know, the Heaven and Let There Be Light, those are two songs that could have, you know, it's a progression from No More Hell to Pay. It's like the next, it's not a copy of it, it's really a progression. I agree with you. I mean, just upon the few listens I had this week, I think it is their strongest album. You know, I'm going to throw it out there. But it's got the Stryper spirit, like I said, everything we expect.
Yeah.
But it's with a much more modern sound, and instead of having the syrupy, and I don't say that in a derogatory sense, but they were known for their high harmonies and their like the Styx kind of harmonies. This is much more of a power metal kind of chanting kind of backing vocals, kind of like Nightwish and Epica kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. The vocals are not as up front; they're more in the background. At least this time around, just similar to the last album.
Yep.
You know. So Giles, tell us what you thought about this album.
Big Screen Lies, The Calling, Yahweh, 3 examples of great songs. One thing Stryper are doing that a lot of other bands of this era should take note of is they're writing great songs. They're not just putting out a record to put out a record that's got a couple of decent tracks and the rest of it wouldn't even be B-sides from their classic stuff. Stryper are really making that effort to release records that are easily as good as, if not better, than the stuff they released in the so-called classic era. And you can tell that Michael Sweet really has a firm understanding of what Stryper fans want. They had a couple of records that didn't connect 100% with their fan base, you know, in the early 2000s and the mid-2000s, but the last 2 have really hit the nail on the head. Great Black Sabbath cover, After Forever, really good choice. Sounds great. Got to also say the production on this record is phenomenal. Same as the last one.
Back to a few other songs, Jim. Love You Like I Do. For me, that's the most 80s sounding track.
Yeah.
It's got everything in there. You know, you've got the solo, the way it's played out, the drums. The only thing missing, I think, is a cowbell. I mean, it's really got that 80s feel to it.
That's right.
Pride, that could be something from maybe Against the Law sessions. You know, it's a little bit more down and dirty.
You know what I like about his voice on Pride? It's more aggressive. You know, it's not a clean falsetto. It's more of a screaming AC/DC falsetto, and it really gives the song a lot of punch.
Then you got Till I Get to What I Need, The Calling. Those are other ones. You know, The Calling might be back. You know, with the more of a classic kind of a Stryper sound. Again, overall, Jim, it's like I said. I mean, they've gone back to their roots. I think the guitar play, the production, another fantastic album cover. Yeah. I mean, the album covers. I think this band just gets stronger the later in the years.
Saxon, Motorhead, Stryper, they keep getting better with age. Isn't that true? I mean, album after album, they just become better songwriters, better production, just better band in general.
I you know, out of 10, I give it easily 9.5 out of 10.
So there you go, Mr. Michael Sweet. 9.5 out of 10. That's from Alan. I would say the same, 9.5 out of 10. Giles, what do you think?
So like I said, the last 2 Strypers have been absolutely back on track and every bit as good as their 80s output. In my opinion, actually better.
Stryper's new album, Fallen. Go pick it up. Pre-order it.
You will not be disappointed.
What was the image here?